Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me as always on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Doing pretty good. Moved, so I'm very happy we were able to bring the theater with us and get that all packed and moving. How is our
I'm glad
trivia
that it's
tribal
excellent.
chief doing?
The trivia tribal chief is doing fantastic right now. We'll touch on that shortly. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh Wound producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
I actually have to say I appreciate you. You give Greg's location every time, but you don't give mine. I thank you for that.
Well, we know Greg is in a theater somewhere in the Northern California Bay Area. You have a very specific background, so
I'm going to say I from an undisclosed location.
from parts unknown.
Yes.
From parts unknown. See, I'm in a very good mood actually to follow up on what Greg was asking, the trivia tribal chief, because as a trivia tribal chief, I'm in a position where I'm hosting the trivia, so I can't win at the trivia because I don't play, but I can also never lose like at playing the trivia, like the Kansas City Chiefs lost tonight, February 9th is when we're recording, to the Philadelphia Eagles, 40-22, the result of Super Bowl 59. The three-peat is not happening. Tears on Taylor Swift's face. Oh, what a night.
You know who I feel bad for? Pat
Who?
Riley.
Pat
He didn't get his three-peat money.
He could have got the three-peat money. That's right.
They said he would have got like $120 million off the merchandising alone.
Well, and a double bonus for you, Ozzy, was you probably saw that fun stat around halftime that at halftime, the last score that was a bigger deficit was when the Broncos were losing to the Seahawks.
Which I enjoyed that Super Bowl just as much. Holy cow, seeing the Broncos get demolished, now seeing the Chiefs get demolished in the Super Bowl. I mean, I want to say I kind of want to see the Chargers get demolished in the Super Bowl, but the problem is they actually need to make it first. So I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah. So anyway, moving on now. I'm sorry.
I do have to say I know this is a couple weeks old by the time you hear this, but you know what my favorite Super Bowl moment was?
What's that?
When the man himself, Dante Hicks, showed up. Did you guys not see Brian O'Halloran on the Super Bowl?
No.
I saw him on the floor after the Super Bowl, the game show.
That's close enough, damn it.
Okay, I'm sorry. When you say at the Super Bowl, it's like at the event.
He was at the
He was on a game show that took place after the Super Bowl. That's why he taped after or before 3 weeks ago or whatever.
It's
What's really funny though is that when they're showing, because I'm not familiar with the floor, ladies and gentlemen, this is I think it's on Fox. It was airing right after the Super Bowl, hosted by Rob Lowe. When they were showing people on the floor, they were talking about the contestants. I'm not familiar with the show, so I saw Brian O'Halloran thinking like, wait, is he just like trying to get some money now? Like as a game show contestant? And then apparently his expertise is convenience store items, which is pretty funny. However, the show doesn't he wasn't chosen as the person to be challenged for the items, but it didn't sound like the show would have been like, oh yeah, Brian O'Halloran from the show Clerks. That's why we have the convenience. It seems like he just like any other Joe Schmo, like, oh, he must really like convenience store items. But now
too bad they didn't have Randall as the video store.
True. That would have been very entertaining. Randall and 80s movies. So with his expertise. But there is another bit of good news that I just want to share. Put me in a very good mood this weekend. There's a new product, not a sponsor, but I do want to share this because the fact that I knew this was out there, I gave it a shot, and this is extraordinarily delicious. I'm talking about Dr. Pepper Blackberry. Zero sugar, this is specifically, but new flavor of Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper Blackberry. You don't really taste the Dr. Pepper in it. It tastes like blackberry soda,
is it the sweet of the juice?
It is very sweet. Well, I mean, the regular sugar is probably very sweet. This is zero sugar, but still tastes very sweet, very delicious. Not a sponsor, but they should be. All right, now finally moving on.
That was a Black History Month joke. If you guys got it,
I did not want to. Anyhow,
right, we're celebrating this month. We got a movie for the holiday or the month.
I mean, it's not a movie for the month. This movie had always been on my list for a while. I had always seen posters of it. I'd seen the trailer for it. I'd
You've
always
never
wanted to get
seen
it
it?
reviewed. I'd never seen it before, so
Oh.
there's a spoiler on my opening thoughts there. Initial thoughts. The film in question is Harlem Nights, which was released on November 17th, 1989. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, we do. Audiences.
In 1938, the Knights belonged to Harlem. The place to be was Club Sugar Ray's. The man to know was Quick.
Now, when you see Quick, I suggest you guys make plans to go elsewhere.
I ain't afraid of going up against Smalls or Calhoun.
That's because you're young.
Come on!
Full of vigor.
I work for Mr. Calhoun.
What kind of work do you do?
Whatever's required.
What would a woman that fine want in a big, fat, nasty, greasy, 12 sandwich eating? What does she want with it?
I don't know, man. She likes fat guys.
Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Danny Aiello,
It's nice to meet you.
Michael Lerner, Della Reese, Jasmine Guy,
I'd like to go upstairs.
Arsenio Hall,
Oh, Quick is mine! Gotta stop overreacting. Overreacted?
Harlem Nights.
I thought I was the only person who slept with his guns under the pillow. Look at her little gun. Oh, look at
Coming Friday, November 17th at theaters everywhere.
That was the trailer for Harlem Nights, again released on November 17th, 1989, rated R with a runtime of 160 minutes, written and directed by Eddie Murphy, the only film for his direct credits of writing and directing, starring Eddie Murphy himself, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, as also mentioned on the trailer, several others, Danny Aiello being one, Jasmine Guy being another. Initial thoughts on this, as I mentioned, I'd never seen this. I'd always seen, this was one of those movies that I'd always see at my local video town back when we used to rent videos. And since it was rated R, I couldn't see it because I was a child, but I was always curious about it because I knew who Richard Pryor was. Not because of Superman 3, but because of Hear No Evil, See No Evil. Shut up, Todd.
And because of Superman 3, but
Okay, yes, but more because of Hear No Evil, See No Evil. Okay, moving on. I had a lot of fun with this, and it's actually better than I expected. Go into a little bit more detail shortly, but I think where I was pleasantly surprised is that it wasn't. It didn't feel like it was a comedy. It felt like it was a movie with a good story to tell that had humorous moments packed in it, and it kind of had a different vibe to it, different feeling to it than a lot of other comedies that we've seen and reviewed.
Yeah, and here's the thing for me. It took a moment. Like I feel like I want to watch this movie again because when you see the cast and you hear written by Eddie Murphy, you're like, oh, this is just gonna be hilarity the entire time, And so I think I'd never seen this and hadn't really watched anything on it until we brought it up here, and so I saw the cast and thought this is going to be something the whole way through. But when it wasn't, it took a moment to pivot, and get to that different mindset. And at that point in time, I was like, oh, this is like a great genre of film, So it was a little off-putting at first, but I going into it, I agree with you, Ozzy. Like it turned into a great overall film.
Todd?
Yeah, this is one I saw way back when it came out. Always a fan of it. I think what you're saying, Greg. Like originally, that was like that's probably why I didn't visit as much as say something like a Golden Child, or if you want to go Richard Pryor, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. But like seeing it now, it is like the balance is much better. Of like Ozzy said, it's a good story with humor throughout it. And I think it works. It always has.
It's almost it's almost as though like a lot of comedies that like take Step Brothers, for example. I don't think we reviewed it yet, but a lot of the glue that holds that movie together is Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, right?
Yeah.
it feels like the glue that holds everything together is the story and the characters you're actually invested in. It's not a bunch of comedic actors having fun. I mean, I'm sure they had a blast making this, but it was more of like, hey, here's this movie, here's a story. Would you want a part in it? As opposed to, oh, we're going to get all these guys. Let me write a movie around these guys. So that's also something that had like a different feel to it. And it was nice to see, just to get something like that you weren't expecting. So this had a lot of hilarious moments. I had my fiance, she was doing stuff in the background as I was watching this, and some of these lines just caught her off guard, made her laugh, which usually doesn't happen with a lot of the movies that I watch. So I'll go ahead and take one of those lines. This is when they were talking about setting up one of the lower level mafia boss guys, the last name Evento. I thought that was funny. So this person said, when they said, do you got somebody that can handle this job? She says, she's got a so good that if you threw it up in the air, it would turn into sunshine. And then later Zonda revealed that that girl was actually named Sunshine. Great callback to the joke. How about you guys?
I mean, for me, there were a few great, almost cartoonish moments that I loved. And I'm just gonna go with the scene where Eddie Murphy's pinned down and he's got three guys, shooting at him. Two guys have like these, Tommy guns. And then after they're done firing and unloading their clip, the one guy with the little pistol, it's his one shot in. And it actually plays out like, if it were just that alone, I'd have been happy. But it ended up playing out into a great bit as well. And that was a great moment.
Yeah. Todd?
It's funny. I was going to censor mine, and then Ozzy just goes ahead and does his, so I don't feel the need to now.
Did mine need censoring?
Well, it didn't need to, but yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I got you. Touche. I was quoting something.
Well, I'm about to too. So, I'm going to get into a little.
Sorry for you if you need to bleep me.
Oh no. I got another little side thing after the favorite moments before the rating.
Okay.
So my line is the interaction between Quick and Sugar Ray when Quick shows up to Sugar Ray's house. Oh, how was the date? I killed her. And Richard Pryor. That's good. Oh, you tore the up, huh? He's like, no, man, I killed her. Was the that bad, man? That whole interaction. Yeah.
I did gotta say, it like in that scene. Not the one, but the one before, we saw at the end of the trailer where he's talking about, look at her little gun. She also sleeps with the gun beneath her pillow. In the movie, the look on his face of the realization is great, because it's not even hitting him at first, and then like you see the change in his face, you see the realization, which is also great. I just want to make a note of that as well. So what was the side thing, Todd, that you
side thing is, well, I was just gonna throw it. May not know this, but this album was heavily sampled from DJ Quick's 1995 album, Safe and Sound. Obviously, his name is DJ Quick. The word "quick" appears in here properly, so a lot of the lines, like, he gets pulled, like, to sample for the rap songs.
Could you repeat that one more time? Like, so a lot of the songs,
like there's a lot of clips on that specific album from Harlem Nights.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like they sampled, like, you're a gangster, no, you're not. There's a lot of just like little samples throughout the movie, obviously, because Quick, the name. So, and I just thought I'd throw that out there, considering the album turned 30 years old 3 days ago. So there's a little extra Black History Month. So,
all right.
Yeah. So watching it, it's like, oh, okay. Like you see all the, like, oh, there's the sample. Like, so if you don't know that, it is kind of cool.
Excellent.
If you're also a fan of Mr. DJ Quick.
Right. So getting into the ratings now, as mentioned earlier, this was something that I got more than I was expecting. It had that mobster movie type feel to it, but again, just peppered with so many humorous moments, not to the extreme like Johnny Dangerously, but
Mhm.
just enough to where you were still like borderline. If you were to take out the jokes, this could have been a drama, right?
Mhm.
With the story
Yeah.
that was going on, which it was really cool. And everything manifested the way it did. Really enjoyed it from start to finish, personally. So it is a 5 from me for Harlem Nights.
Nice. I struggled with this one, and again, I think I need to go back and rewatch it with a different mindset. Um, I was even wondering, like, is this going to be a farce? Will this go on a fist episode? Because there's a little bit more action than there is comedy at times, but it's a great film. So for the fun factor of it and the enjoyment of the film, I'm going with a 4.5.
All right, Todd.
I feel like I'm the low one at a 4, but I do enjoy it. It's just, yeah, it is one that it could have gone either way. I think. I don't think if it was. I think even looking at it the fist perspective, I'd still probably be about a 4. So.
Yeah, I mean, if for me, I'm totally rating off the fun factor. I can imagine if somebody's going in and they want like a pure slapstick comedy, it's probably not going to hit like they would want it to hit.
Yeah, if they're expecting Johnny Dangerously, it might be a problem.
Yeah, but if you're just in line for a good story where there's some humorous moments, this is a great movie for that. As of February 9th, it is available to stream on Prime Video. However, that may be leaving soon, as according to Just Watch, that is not the case. So
I do have to say, like, it was great to allow some comedic actors to, get some meat on some of their lines,
right.
get some time to, like Jim Carrey and Robin Williams, all these great comedic actors who, like, they got the opportunities, but, there's always been a thing about seeing these great comedians and not giving them a chance to be a little bit more serious. And
Especially Richard Pryor's Sugar Ray. That was
right,
something I
right.
really enjoyed, like, s an underrated talent, unfortunately. With
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff he was cast in, it was unfortunately a lot of the same kind of things, but this really showed that there is a range there that unfortunately wasn't tapped to its fullest potential and other potential projects.
Mhm. Mhm.
So but it is good to see that something like that did uh exist for him to showcase his abilities, and that
Mhm.
was really really cool to see. So feel free to check it out. Again, as mentioned, as of February 9th, it is available to stream on Amazon Prime. Surely it is available to rent or purchase wherever you rent or purchase your favorite digital content. And of course, if you are in the Orange County area this week, I'll be hosting trivia this Tuesday at the Rush Bar and Grill in Lake Forest, beginning at 7 o'clock. Also, this Wednesday at the Brewery in Placentia, also at 7 o'clock. Both nights free to play and prizes for the top winning teams. Now, before we head out for the evening, do you guys have anything else you'd like to say before we exit?
Well, if we're talking about things we're not actually sponsored by, but love, the new Dream Theater album came out, and Parasomnia is fantastic. It's great new album. If you like some metal mixed with some prog, it's awesome. They're back to form for best album they've probably done in the last decade or so.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Todd?
Flesh and Horror this Wednesday.
Cool. Now, a bit of a side note. I maybe we should have like a news and notes section. So we are recording this on February 9th, 2 days following the release of Love Hurts, starring Key.
Short round.
Thank
Data.
you very much. I checked it out. This isn't going to be like an official formal review.
That would just
it
be
out.
a smack in Greg's face if you did after all that.
That's true. That'd be pretty funny. Just raising the curtain, so to speak. Greg mentioned this a few months ago, and I was hacked and thumbs downed it.
Sure.
So I actually went to see it Friday, and I was like, "Hey guys, this is a really good movie." And then Greg's like, "If only somebody suggested we review it." So review will happen in the future, an in-depth review. It'll happen in the future. What? What's the matter?
Saw the word love and hit thumbs down.
Kind of. That's kind of what happened.
You should have said starring Short Round. You would have been like thumbs up.
you approached it the wrong way.
Well, and the everything everywhere all at once kind of vibe, maybe. Because you were anti that movie as well, right, Ozzy?
I became anti that movie as soon as everybody told me I had to watch it.
Yeah.
Because then it started to feel like a homework assignment, and
Right.
I just naturally wanted to rebel.
See, you should have just said, "Short Round's back. You got to watch it."
Yeah. Hey,
Again, approached the wrong way.
There's this movie with Short Round in it. I can't remember what it's called, but just look for the movie with Short Round in it. You got to watch the movie with Short Round. If that's how it was presented to me, that's how I would have watched it. But it was like, oh my gosh, this is a great movie. You have to see it. You haven't seen this movie? This is a great movie. You have to watch this movie. Okay. All right. I'll get there. All right. It's more like it pushes me back. Whenever somebody says I have to watch something, it's the opposite effect with me. Greg, you know this. Well, both of you guys know this. It's me. I mean, part of it's me being stubborn, but at the same time, I think there's some validity to it, because a lot of the times my mindset going into it is like, I don't want to agree with everybody that's telling me I have to do something. So to spite them, I'm going to bring this down a peg just starting out. And it's not a fair review, or it's not a fair perspective, so to speak. But what was a fair perspective and what was enjoyable was Love Hurts. Just wanted to throw that out there since it is a new release. So if you have a chance to see it, check it out. All right. So if you guys don't have anything else for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, for world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here in a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.